What's up, guys?
No.
Welcome. No.
So cooked.
Welcome to Trims and Talk.
What's going on?
All the credits.
I just wanna talk with my brothers, is that too much to ask? Might as well look sharp, cause I'm doing it too. Trims and talk. Trims and talk. Trims and talk. I wanna know.
On the saltfish. So you had hot food for breakfast.
Hard food for breakfast.
That is a good thing,
I didn't eat anything beforehand.
isn't it?
Yes, because you have to leave room.
Oh, for the afternoon.
No.
Oh, no, for the
Yeah,
thing.
so this morning I didn't eat anything. Yes. So here we are again.
Here we are again, man. You know what I'm saying? Here we are again. Mm. So how have you been since the last time I saw you?
How have I been? Well, it's been an interesting week. I had the first of my prostate cancer focus groups. I bumped into, it's this Paulette on the radio.
Oh, Paulette Edwards.
Paulette Edwards on the radio there.
Ah.
I popped into a pub actually on Sunday, and I looked and I saw this woman, and I said, oh look, no, we know that face here. And she went to her brother, it turned out, and obviously said the same thing. I know that face.
Yeah.
And then I said, oh, Paulette. And I was talking with Paulette, and she about the prostate cancer, and she said, I must contact her via Jennifer and see if she wants to do something about it. So it went well. It's good. I've got 3 more this week. So that's what I've got coming up for me this side of Christmas. What about you?
I think for me, it's on Sunday. I was at the Steve Edwards a concert at the chapel in Samuel. Is it Samuel Worth? Isn't it?
Samuel Worth, yes.
Yeah, Samuel Worth.
Yes.
It's the first time I've actually been there.
I've never been in the building
Weirdest thing.
because it's in the middle of the cemetery.
Yeah, 7 p.m. in the evening. I'm thinking, how do I get into this place? So I saw this elderly couple walk past. They said, we are actually volunteer gardeners in this place.
Yeah.
This is how you go in. It's dark, bro.
It's scary at the best of times.
That's the thing. For me, being the Zimbabwean I am, we grew up with this idea that you never set foot in a graveyard.
Yes, and I know what you mean because we grew up with Duppy.
Yes, with Duppy, yeah.
Duppy. So, and obviously, irrationally, I don't believe in Duppy, etc. But still, I'm not going to. I feel a bit. Even when I've cycled through General Cemetery, I've walked through General Cemetery, and when I walk on my own during the day, I can feel a bit odd.
It's weird, isn't it?
It is odd, yes, because it's a beautiful cemetery.
Yes, it is.
It is a beautiful cemetery, but I still feel odd about it. I feel a bit scared, let's be honest. Afraid.
Do you know the first time I actually saw somebody sit on a grave, like those sort of like well-curated graves, the St. Mary's, near the roundabout. I had a friend who lived like just around the corner, and I remember we took a walk. Literally, it's like a minute from her house, and she sat on the thing, and I'm thinking, I was relatively new to the country at the time, because back home they say, when we were kids, they used to say if you step on a grave, your feet will crack. But the truth is, your feet cracked because you were walking barefoot, man.
But no matter.
It had nothing to do with it.
But I think that's in a sense there. It's the fear of death. Death itself is the unknown. Every culture has ways in which it tries to get its head around it. I mean, I find it amazing, in Mexico.
Yes.
Where they celebrate, they have a death day.
Oh, yes.
I don't know, it's
Muerte, something.
Muerte, yes.
Yeah.
And where they celebrate the idea of the dead come out.
Yes.
And in a way you can see that actually if you see the dead as your ancestors,
yes,
then what are we scared of? When my mum died, and my dad lived for 8 more years afterwards, and he had two photographs. He had a photograph of himself and my mum on the wall.
Okay.
And people came around maybe a couple of years later and said to him, "You're not afraid?" "Afraid of what?" he said. He said, and they said, "You're afraid that you got this photo of your deceased wife just staring at you and, basically talking about duppy and things like that." And I remember him saying, "But what am I going to be afraid of? It was my wife. If she's back, all better." But he had a great story one time. He said he was sleepy one time and he'd drunk too much and he'd sort of fallen asleep, sort of slightly drunk. And he woke up and his wife and mum was saying to him, "Get up, get up, get up, get up." And then he realised, but she dead.
But do you know, I think sometimes the body doesn't know any difference between the thought and the reality. I think sometimes people talk about, what do you call it, something memory, muscle memory.
Yeah.
I think sometimes our bodies can trick us into thinking that the thing that is not there is actually
Oh
there.
God!
You know?
When my mum died, and I was just been talking with Errol just been to breakfast at Duke Street, and he was asking me because he was talking about his mum and then talking about mum. I was saying my mum died in 1988. For about 20 years, I used to have dreams which were so vivid. I woke up, my mum was still alive.
Yes.
In my, that's how vivid the dreams were.
But don't you think that, because we carry the memories of those that were part and parcel of our reality.
Yeah.
Because I think sometimes the comfort in memory, I think we were given the ability to remember for that very reason that when we, sometimes, when you are dealing with a conundrum or something of that nature, and somehow, because like you rightly said, we are not, there's a guy, I think it's called Joshua Maponga. I've seen his few clips, online. It says we carry our ancestors with us, but in him uses more colorful language, about how we carry our ancestors. But he's right. We are it's like we are representatives not of our bloodline. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I think we are. I mean, it's like, again, talking with Errol today, and when you talk with people sometimes, it just sort of like, memories come back, and he said to me, "Oh, your mum died when you were young." I said, "Yeah." And I said, the funeral was, I think it was the second funeral I'd ever been to. The one before was my sister.
Okay.
And the funeral, I'd never been to a funeral before, really.
Is it?
So the second one I've been to was first my sister, then my mum. And everything in those two funerals was as I expected it to be.
Ah.
But I'd never been to one before. And I was 27, 28. Everything I expected was in it. Because I think in a sense there, these key things in people's lives, call it marriage, birth, death, I think particularly death there, they are things which are emblematic of your culture, of your upbringing. And then, things change. I'm not one of those who is into the idea of a fixed time immemorial, you preserve it like it's some sort of like whatever. It has to live. But I recognised every bit of it. And even at the time, everything about it I recognised. Everything which happened, I expected it to happen. The funny bits, the mad bits, you name it, everything. Because it was as if everything was a culmination of that.
Yeah, but that's the thing. I think mine was like my father's funeral was the first one I ever did, and I think it was the first one I went to for a long time. I think I was in my late teens at the time. So we're talking like in the 80s, like late 80s. I think it was 87, 88.
So this is your father?
Yeah.
So you're young as well, aren't you?
Yeah.
You're a young man, aren't you?
Yeah,
You're not even starting out. You're not a man.
I thought I was a man.
You thought you were a man, but
Dude,
you're not a man.
I thought I was a man because, there's this thing with African culture that if you are the eldest in the family, somehow there's this unspoken rule that suddenly you have to take the role of because I'm the eldest boy.
Yeah.
Somehow I had to take that role of taking charge.
Yes.
And I didn't have a clue what I was doing. I really did not have a clue what I was doing, but somehow it was expected that I will step up. Then somehow suddenly I'm having to be responsible for my siblings and my mom. Because my mom didn't work. My father had always been the one who was the breadwinner. And it was hard, bro. I remember at the time I got what they call a scholarship to go study music at the Zimbabwe College of Music, and I was the only student without. I had got a scholarship, but it didn't come with any money. So he paid for the fees. But out of the fees, I had to also do some side work. I used to get something like, I think it was about $25 a week. And out of that $25, I'll probably kind of send $10 back home.
So as the firstborn, so that's a big
Yeah, as the
responsibility.
firstborn,
Is
it's
it
a
a
big
responsibility you think you've had to have your whole life?
It's a responsibility I never chose. A responsibility I struggle to even embrace, if I may be honest, because I think sometimes people are pushed into something that they have never been trained for, never been prepared for, but they find themselves and you just do that thing because it's required of you, and you're not happy about it.
So what about, because we've talked lots about, leaving, say, Zimbabwe, coming here, you're the firstborn, you've got this position of responsibility, and you come to the UK, and there's clearly lots of expectations.
Do it.
When you say, look at me.
Let me tell you,
Expectations of yourself and from others.
No, let me tell you, for me, I think I came, remember, the first time I came to the UK, like I've mentioned before, I was shooting a film called The Power of One. If you Google it, you may see me.
At one time, I told you this story. You told me about you'd been in this film with Morgan Freeman.
Yeah, with Morgan
and
Freeman.
I thought, he's probably just an extra or whatever.
Yeah,
Just running his moat. And I checked it online. People, you can check it online. And there he was. He was then, he says the cast. He was like the fourth person.
I'm on the credits, man. I'm credited in that film. I have never got any residual income from that either. But this is the thing. So the first time I came, it was kind of cushy because it was Warner Brothers, we were at a hotel and all that kind of stuff. So when I decided to come back, the idea was to study, but somehow it didn't work out the way it was. So I think somehow I was lucky in the sense that my thing has always been connection. You will know this. My thing has always been, I think my survival has been because of the connections and the friendships I cultivated along the line.
You say survival, that's quite a sort of like a bleak word.
It is. Because remember, Zimbabwe has had stories of people who came to the UK and lost themselves in the process. We had a prolific poet called Dambuzo Marachera who passed. I think he ended up passing in some, I don't know whether he was in a park or something. I might be wrong, but all we know is that it was a public passing in London, of all places. And so I don't know what happened to him, because the stories, everybody always kind of comes up with story when it comes to somebody, kind of passing away. And I also had a very close friend here in Sheffield who was found in a park set on something, gone. But again, there was, self-medication. Because one of the things that we don't talk about when we make the journey to this part of the world is the fact that no one ever prepares you for the reality of here.
No, I mean, and I think
You
that's
know?
a sort of age-old thing, isn't it?
Yeah.
My parents came in 1956 of that Windrush generation, and what you're talking about there is the way in which it's a traumatic experience.
It is.
And it's a traumatic experience which is built upon whatever trauma you may have had before in your own
That's it.
lives and intergenerational. So people sometimes can arrive and, without, as you say, connections to support, you can lose yourself. I
No,
mean,
you
they used
do.
to say back in the day, Jamaicans used to say about, black man in England, the mal go mad.
Yes.
And I remember when I first heard that, when I went to Jamaica the first time, I was a bit annoyed.
Yeah.
Because there was a bit of a slur on that was, and yet the evidence, as this very podcast starts, this very first episode with David, on which basically asks that question, why do we need SACMA? And he says 40 years on, instead of it being 6 times greater the rate of black men being sectioned on the Mental Health Act, it's now 5 times.
Yeah.
So is it any surprise that subsequent groups of people coming to the UK, black people coming to the UK, Zimbabweans in the 90s and the noughties there, that there would be some within that cohort who are going to really, really struggle? And we know that's been the case.
But that's the thing. It's like, because remember, as much as we came from the colonies, remember the systems that, outside the education system that we grew up under, which we thought was like mirrored the British archetype. Now we suddenly come to the reality of this Britain that we have either dreamt about or something. Because many of us came here, we were excited because we thought.
You see, that's a little often when people talk about
Yeah.
migration, and it's only some I've talked. You forget that it's usually young men.
Yeah.
It's young people. And there is an excitement.
There is an excitement,
and there is an adventure there, and and that's another part of the difficulties there, which is you, as a young person who decides to leave their family and to go somewhere else, you are putting so much of a personal investment in that.
That's
in
it,
a dream, nearly.
In a dream.
Yeah.
No, it literally is a dream. And sometimes it's a pipe dream.
Yes.
Because even the dream, earlier I was talking about the fact that you are never prepared. The people who come here, I think for me, I was unlucky in the sense that usually the people in my circle came here either on a sponsored something.
Yeah.
I remember one of my fellow colleagues, Clayton Love, actually this guy I went to Zimbabwe College of Music with. When he first came here, he was in London. He was doing like a choreography and dance related, kind of. I don't know whether it was a month workshops and stuff. Everything was funded. You see what I'm saying? So when he came back and he regaled us with tales of this awesome adventure, meeting other young people from other parts of the world and stuff.
Which is exciting as well.
It's exciting.
Again, we forget that bit
That's
there,
it.
which is, one of the features of Britain is its diversity.
That's it.
And the fact that you can meet anybody from anywhere in the world in a ordinary city, relatively ordinary city like Sheffield there. You
That's
can
it.
just do.
That's it,
And
Rob.
you think, oh, where's this person from? And you get into conversation with them, etc. there. But again, your point then, which is there's one thing being sponsored, there's another when you come on your own
Yes.
and you're trying to make a life.
Yes.
You're trying to actually make,
Yes.
to achieve something
Yeah.
more than what you may have had if you just stayed
If
where
it
you
stayed
were.
at home.
Yeah.
Because I usually, I think sometimes it's I don't know, they say hindsight is 20/20.
Yes.
Sometimes I look back and see people I grew up with. I would say probably the majority of them have passed on.
Passed on?
Yeah, they've died.
Yeah.
Some of the guys I went.
And these people who stayed in Zimbabwe, or
People who stayed in Zimbabwe. I know some people moved to South Africa because really, this is the thing. I think after I left, there were so many other horror stories. I know a lot of things had happened during the time when I was in my formative years, politically and stuff. I mean, which I won't get into. I mean, it's well documented about some of the atrocities that happened in my in the country where I'm from. But so as a result, a lot of people kind of either moved to the States, some moved to Australia, some moved to here, and some moved to South Africa. Actually, I think there's a great
Majority
number.
went
They
was
went
it
to
4
South
million
Africa.
Zimbabweans went to South Africa.
They went to South Africa. But this is the weirdest thing is they went to South Africa again. Many of us, out of pure desperation. There was never any plan. As much as I came here, the idea was to come and study. Besides that, it was on this premise that somebody was going to fund my being here. But when I came here, they suddenly turned around and said, man, I have no money. You know what I'm saying? They didn't have. So I ended up literally kind of having to relearn, kind of recalibrate my mind. Because remember, I have come from I'm a thespian. I am an actor. Because remember,
That means you've been a waiter in your time.
Yes. No, this is the thing. I think this is the thing that somehow threw me. The first time I had come here, I had come, being paid to be here.
Yeah.
If I had gone back, and then this is the weirdest thing. When I first came, there was a friend. He was doing storyboard for John Avildsen, who was the director of a guy called Keith Ellis. Brilliant artist. He said, oh, yeah. You don't need to go back. You could come with me to New York. You see what I'm saying? So, had I been brave, I would have gone to New York and probably ended up, like in the gutter somewhere, strung out on some illicit something. As people do.
As people do.
As people do.
People do.
You know what I'm saying? But I wasn't.
So were you scared to go to New York?
I was scared. No, I wasn't scared. I think.
I mean, I would have been scared.
No,
But then again, I've never done what you've done, which is, and maybe I have not had the situation where I had to, but because I think it is brave. I think that's the personal story of people who migrate, and we're in an age there where the story of the migrant is vilified, etc., etc. Well, I am a son of migrants, and I think their story, what they were, was that they were courageous, they were brave, they were prepared to take a chance.
That's it.
And some of it was a chance out of excitement and adventure.
It was.
But a lot of it was circumstances propelled them to do that.
But that's it. And I think somehow we don't. We talk about our journeys. But those who came before us, they didn't really sit down and tell us about their experience of the thing that we were now on the road in which we were traveling.
Do you tell your parents? Do you tell your children?
I do. When they ask me questions, I tell them. I regale them with like something. I put my seasoning on the story.
Well, I think you have to.
I do.
You got to.
I do, man. Because otherwise, it becomes this traumatic experience that has no end. But somehow, for their sake, I have to put some seasoning in that thing, so at least it's easier to swallow. 'Cause let me tell you, like you were saying, the journey, the adventure is fraught with uncertainty.
Oh, geez, absolutely.
Yeah, it's fraught with uncertainty. You don't even know. It's like, let me tell you, I remember a time something had happened, where I was living. And I suddenly found I have no place where I'm going to sleep that night. If it had not been for Clinton McCoy, I would have slept, I would have been on the street. Because I remember him saying, you can come and sleep on our couch. Him and Claudette, and Claudette Clark. And then after that, Ogo Osamo. You know Ogo?
Yes.
Yes. Ogo, I stayed in his home for a year. He didn't ask me for a penny.
And that's what you need, isn't it? Without an incredible kindness of people like Ogo and Clinton and Claudette,
Yeah.
and there are so many people like that there, people are going to drown.
That's the thing, bro.
When they come to a place they don't know have any connections,
That's
etc.
it.
there. I mean, I used to always, when I was growing up, I used to wonder how my parents ended up in Nottingham.
Mm.
And then you get the personal story,
Yeah,
which is they came to Nottingham because my dad's brother was in Nottingham.
yeah.
And that's how it connects, because you need somebody
Who was here?
who is here, who you can go to, who's
Yes.
going to actually give you a bed to sleep in, going
That's
to tell
it.
you about a job which might be taking place, that you can walk down there, and as they said back in the day, they hire black people there,
Yes.
and you might get a job for the day, etc. All of those stories there, that's what people experience. Now that is today.
That's it.
That's not changed one iota.
It has
there.
not changed even a bit.
Mm.
The very fact, even like for, like sometimes, some people actually, they forget that the system here in England is different from when you go to South Africa. Because most Zimbabweans, when they go to South Africa, they jump the border. So
Yes.
there's a lot of danger,
Yeah.
when because you got like, kind of wild animals, and you run across, people with weapons and all that kind of stuff. So the whole journey is really a traumatic journey. So when I remember last year when I went to Zimbabwe, people were like, "Oh yeah, so hey, can you sort me some papers to come to England?" I'm like, dude, I don't even know how to sort out my papers,
Yes.
because when people say, can you help me can you sort me some papers to come? They are thinking, a guy who knows a guy who can get it on the.
Yes.
But here the system doesn't work that way. But it does if you have influence.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So it's a system. It's the same system, but here it works on a different ballgame. That's why we have had, like all this big thing in the media about migration, about immigrants and what have you. It's not as clear cut as we think it is. Because otherwise, everybody will be here, right?
Yeah. And for you, going back, because you went back last year, that was the first time, wasn't it?
It was the first time in a while.
Yes.
I would say probably the first time in probably about nearly 20 years.
Which is a good while, isn't it?
It's a very, very good one.
And what's going back? What's that like after 20-odd years? Because,
Dude.
again, my parents, they all saw themselves as Jamaican, always. But when they went back, they came in 1956, and they couldn't go back until 1969 and 70, because basically they didn't have enough money.
Yeah.
And they went back a couple of times after that. And they used to say about how it was home, but they felt different.
Hmm.
And in a way, it's inevitable. If
Yeah.
you're away from anywhere for any length of time, that place changes. And
It
you're
changed,
not a
bruh.
part of that change. You come back and things are different. Some of
It
the
changes. It really does change. And also your palate changes. The things that were natural no longer seem to be. I mean, like, I was foolish in the sense that I came here and became vegetarian.
I don't understand what sort of. Hey, that's what happens when you go to England. You turn vegetarian.
Because you know how it is, like that.
You're not turned vegan though.
Brother, you know how it is. Like we live in a part of the world that everything is about a trend. People are either, one time it's like ital is vital. And
Yes. But roots food.
yeah.
Ital food.
Hard food.
But in a way, they were forerunners because there's no salt on the food.
Yes.
So, they're eating natural food.
Natural
And
food.
something which, this is like back in the 80s there, and now it is very much the thing there that people should eat the organic food without all the additives, etc., etc.
That's it.
So they were forerunners.
They were forerunners, but then it's like you have to pay through the nose, even like for
Yes.
that organic stuff. There.
Yes.
And it's not for everyone.
No, no.
You know what I'm saying? It's not for. I'm saying it's not for everyone because we can't afford. We can't afford the most basic, and we always find like here, which also kind of contributes to why many of us end up with the maladies that we do have, various illnesses we can't even explain, because one, the food that we get here, we get food like things that are out of season all the way throughout the year.
Absolutely, and
You
then
know what
we
I'm
eat the
saying?
processed food, and you
We eat
worry
the
about your
processed stuff.
children. I mean,
Yeah.
again, SACME there has supports or works in partnership with things around diabetes,
Yeah.
heart disease, all these sorts of things there, which clearly what we eat will contribute
Will contribute
to it.
Yes.
And I mean, I've just come back from Duke Street there and had breakfast there and had kalaloo, amiyaki, saltfish, and some dumpling there. And, there's some fat there.
Yeah.
But, back in the day, I would not have supplemented it with eating the biscuits and the
Yeah.
chocolate and all, this, that, and the other, etc. there.
Yeah.
So there's a diet which
There is a
actually
diet.
is, a fairly organic diet.
But if you look at it, like the food you just highlighted, the dumpling, sometimes the plantain and all that kind of stuff, all that food basically worked in an environment where after you yum the food, you're going to go and do some hard work.
Yes, but the food you were eating was grown by you.
It was grown by
So
you.
it's natural food
It's
there.
natural food,
So
yes.
it's not. So again, I mean, you can see how someone said a question. It was actually to Terrell about his mum being 95, and they said, "Oh," and then someone said, "Oh, my mum was 96," and he asked the question, "What, in Jamaica or in England?" And he said Jamaica. And when I was growing up, I didn't know old people, and that was
That's
because
it.
of a generation I came.
Yeah.
So my parents were the old people. There were no old people, and then everyone's got older. But what I find surprising is looking back now and looking now at this generation, my generation, our generation, how early so many of us are passing.
That's it.
In our 60s there, what the last barbershop talking group there, we were talking there, one of the things about, how many people have passed,
Yeah.
are passing every week, you hear about this
Every
person, you hear about so-and-so saying dead, no,
Yes.
And it's that type of talk all the time. And
But
it's
that's
a
it.
scary talk, and it's a talk which makes you reflect on your life here.
Yeah.
And you think to yourself, I don't really think to myself too negatively, but I do think, that the pressure, which, go back to your point there about
Yeah.
people coming over here and, they break under the pressure of it there. The pressure not only breaks some people in terms of mental health, it breaks them in terms of early death.
That's it. No, that's it. Because the body somehow gives up. Let me tell you, I remember a guy saying in the sauna a while back, he says, I miss the time when my body was silent. At that moment, I really didn't get it until he explained the fact that now, I'm 56. I wake up in the morning and struggle to put my clothes on because it says if through the night my body just seizes up. And now I now resort to that thing where you wake up in the morning and try and stretch.
Yes.
So at least you are able to put on your shoes.
You can bend, you can put your
Yes.
underpants on.
No, you can. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Otherwise, sometimes like you sit on the chair like this, like how am I going to do this thing,
putting
man?
on my underwear now.
Dude, I'm telling you, I'll sit down and I'm like, it's like you're in deep thought into thinking, how am I going to do this thing? Because the pain that you're going to feel. Because for me, it's like I feel my back has always, kind of been problematic, even when I was a kid. And now it's like, it's the next level of pain. Trying to just pick up, a shoe and put it on.
Again, that's another thing which, and we've talked about this and, we're also looking forward, which is how do you do aging?
That's
And
it.
do aging in a way which is because you can. There's that thing they say about sort of like miserable or whatever it is, old
Yeah.
men, grumpy old men.
Oh yeah, the grumpy
That
old
you-
man.
and you can see how as you get older you can be grumpy.
Yeah, man.
Yes, there's a lot to be
No,
grumpy
bro.
about.
Let me tell you, we own our grumpiness, and this is for good reason.
Yeah.
I mean, let me tell you, I own my grump simply because life has been hard, bro.
Yeah, but then okay, but then there is that process you have to do. Something. I mean, I think there's a sort of like a psychological process, which is we all reflect,
Yeah.
but we don't want to be a prisoner of the past, do we?
No, no,
Be
no,
that
no,
prisoner of I coulda, I shoulda, I woulda.
Yeah.
Now, largely we do it, but you shouldn't be too occupied by it.
No, that's the thing.
And it's difficult not to. And then, for me, it is always trying to have something which you're enjoying, which you take a pleasure from
That's
which
it.
you feel maybe a bit of a purpose from as well. And today and tomorrow.
That's it.
So, I arrived this morning here, or this lunchtime, and I was pleased because I'd gone to the Breakfast Club.
To the Breakfast Club.
I was really pleased. Derek had texted me, and I was pleased because I'd gone because Derek had reminded me about it. So
Yeah.
and it's nice to do something on the, someone has invited you and to do it. So that was really nice. It was nice to be in the company of the people there. It was nice to see a friend Errol there and to sit and talk. And the food was nice as well.
Yeah.
And it's a lovely setting as well.
But it goes back to something we both of us recently experienced when we went to Ellesmere Children's Center.
Yeah.
And Olive spoke about the fact that the need for a place where we could have collective, just a place where we can celebrate being.
Yeah, and I think
know?
they are places like that.
Yeah.
And I went to one this morning.
Yeah, that's exactly what I mean.
And I think maybe, I think Ollie was right there. And I think what we might need to do is to recognise those places which
Those
currently
places.
exist. They don't have to, they're always being invented as such there, but there's places like that which exist already, and you can find such great pleasure. I had a lovely, I couldn't be there for as long as I would have liked there, but it was a lovely hour there.
Yes.
And when, and there were a couple of people there, well, most of the people there, I've seen the faces a few times.
Yeah.
And it was nice for them to see my face, I hope. And it was nice. And I actually forgot my hat and my scarf, and a woman there said, "Oh, you've forgotten your hat and your scarf. There you come after you, kid." And that way in which I love the Jamaica way of, they can make joke with you.
No, that's true.
Make joke
I
with you.
really do, yeah.
And a real sense of warmth and safety.
But also that speaks to the our intentionality, because our initial conversation earlier was like, so we have spoken about the past and how we were shaped in trauma and all that kind of stuff.
And Olive got a bit
Yes.
frustrated with some of
Yes.
our talk, didn't she?
And
I
that's
hope we're
it.
not talking out of turn there, but that was one of the feelings we got there. Actually,
Yeah.
that there was a lot of pain there.
But that's the thing. Pain is in our bones. But now the thing is, what do we do now that we are aware of what shaped us and where we are? How do we proceed? I mean, like, also we are at the end of 2025,
Yes.
and we in the last episode we spoke about, like some of the wonderful guests we have had on the podcast, the conversations we have had and stuff. But what do we do going forward?
Well, I'm going to go with one we've just picked up on, which is the idea about looking for those places which give us comfort.
Yes.
And you don't need that all the time, but there are places there which can give you, for that hour, for that morning, for that day, what if comfort's what you need,
Yes.
then it can give you. I mean, I had it this morning.
Yes.
I will go again to Duke Street Breakfast Club there.
Yeah.
And I will go because I feel, I felt safe.
Yeah.
And I keep some of this word
That's
safe.
it. That's it.
I felt safe. I felt a rootedness as well. I felt as if
Yeah.
there was they were just made, and that's about part of aging as well. As you get older, maybe because you're nearing the end, and you go back to where you started.
Yeah.
That actually, do you go back to where you started in terms of some of the things you're looking for your comfort, the childhood things which were comfort to you? So as a child, that breakfast there. I mean, I joked when Derek gave me the cornmeal porridge there,
Yeah.
and their cornmeal porridge is the best cornmeal porridge. My mum was a great cook, but that wasn't her best thing.
Yeah.
So these are comfort things,
Yes.
and there are some things which, like food and certain settings, are comfort which the body and the soul needs. It's like a balm.
No, it is. It is. I've spoken, many a time about my love for brunch.
Yes, you are brunch man, aren't you?
I'm a brunch man, you know what I'm saying? I'm a brunch man. Simply,
What's
again.
your coffee or is it tea?
I
I just have tea, you have-
mine is usually like a chai latte, you know.
The fanciest I get with tea is just a dash of milk, please.
Is it? No, me. Let me tell you, I will try. I have had Spanish latte. I have chai latte. I have even had that green one. The matcha.
The matcha. See, I don't know any of those teas.
No, let me tell you, I will try.
I like me Yorkshire tea, I do.
I will try it once. Let me tell you, I will try it once and suddenly realize, no, I don't like it. I think I'm gonna, because there's a lot, especially around now that is Christmas. Suddenly, certain brands are coming out of the woodworks, just for this season. So for me, and somehow my curiosity, my culinary curiosity, takes over, and I'm suddenly finding myself tasting things I shouldn't even taste.
So for you then, 2026 then, what are the sort of things then? Just build on the tea. What tea adventures have you got in store for 2026?
Let me tell you, I think, do you know what? It's like there's a guy at the gym, Glenn. Glenn has, I remember a while back, he was saying, hey, we should do like this traveling from every, like some of these coffee shops, obscure coffee shops, just and do like a roving podcast, just on that idea of the things we taste on these journeys. And I think for me, I would love to just go around and just sit in some cafe, off the beaten path, and just taste, what people have to offer.
I was in a cafe yesterday, down Shower Vale, so you can imagine the cafe there, and it's amazing. I was commenting that how pubs have closed,
Yes,
but cafes have opened,
that's it.
and the city is awash with cafes.
That's it.
And all types of cafes.
All types of cafes. man.
And they're places where so one of the things that I want to do in 2026 on that very theme is I've started it already, which is to meet friends for coffee.
For coffee.
And
That's
to
it, bro.
touch base with friends.
Because nothing beats a conversation over a warm beverage.
Yes, absolutely. That's just touching base, catching. And I think for men, again, we're talking here about men's mental health. That's sort of like checking in with one another there on a one-to-one there. How are you? What's going on? What's going on in your life? What you've been doing, etc. There. It's a great feeling. I've been doing it with a couple of guys over the past year. One, we have Errol and Delroy there, and it's been a great way of just being in the same space and making connections.
No,
and there's a
but that's
couple of
it.
other guys which I want to do it with as well.
No, but I mean, it's weird you say so, because I haven't received that invitation yet.
We're coffee man. You're a tea man.
Well, it doesn't matter. It really does not matter, man. It does not. It doesn't matter. Because it's the same. Yesterday, I was trying to remind David Busu about the very thing. Because me and David have, since I started working at the, he's like, oh, yeah, we should go and have a meal or a coffee. I'm like, so yesterday I had to remind him when he was inviting somebody else to, I'm like, dude, I'm here. You've been telling me that, we needed to go and have a coffee.
So what we're saying then to people is not to put these things off.
No,
Don't put it off because, I don't know if other people agree with this, but, what is life other than connection with people? And, to connect with people, there's an advert at the moment, which is, I think it's Marks and Spencer's or Waitrose, and it's Keira Knightley that's in it. And the guy in it, it's a comedy sort of advert. And at one point, the guy phones his mum and says, what can I do for her? All I can do is cook.
Mm.
And she says, cooking for someone is love.
It is.
And when you go out for a coffee with a friend there, it is reminding you that you're building a relationship. You're giving something back to that relationship. You're saying that this person, you matter to me. Hopefully, I matter to you as well. Because that's the connection there.
That's it, bro. As much as I know you bake. And again, I have never tasted any of your
I don't
baked
bake. I may have said to you I baked a cake once.
Oh, okay. But whatever you make, I haven't tasted any of them.
I feel like I'm in the stocks here.
I know, bro.
Why don't you just throw the rotten veg at me?
No, because this is the thing. Somebody recently said, no, it's not even recent, but they say it like, if you have known somebody for over a year and they've never invited you over for any meal, you have to question your friendship. You know
as I say, Lungardi there, I don't even know where you live.
No, but we see.
In fact, I drop you off there, but I see you walking as if you're saying, I don't want that man to know where I live.
Nobody needs to know where I live. You know what I'm saying? Like back in the day, where basically it's like you ask somebody. Like we have seen that scene in the movie. Somebody gets dropped off somewhere, and then they retrace their steps and go straight back where they were picked up, and that's where they live.
So let's have that one. So one is about connection with people for 2026. What else for 2026?
I think, for me, is like at the moment I'm working on behind the scenes sort of like documentary for Steve Edwards' album launch for next year. And I think for me reconnecting with the arts scene.
Yeah.
I mean, like when I came to Sheffield, I worked in that space. I taught drums, I taught dance. I was involved in a lot of arts, arts-related projects here. And I also taught at the college where we met. And I want to kind of reconnect because once I finish the Steve Edwards project, I want to also kind of do some stuff for Montuno. Because Montuno, I'm fascinated.
We're playing on Saturday.
Yes, we are.
You're going to be there. I'm going to be there. Greystones.
Yeah, Greystones. We are going to go there, and I'll bring my camera for that very reason, because I think Montuno, the ecosystem, I think the idea.
You sound like you want to be back in that
no,
sort
I
of
do,
cultural
bro.
world, art
I
world.
do, bro. I really do. You know what? You know why I'm saying that? Because somehow Sheffield has done a lot, but it hasn't done much. You know what I'm saying? What Sheffield does is you have different pockets of artistry happening, but somehow there's no conjoining way of doing that. I think people are doing things in their own corners and surviving, and that's great. But for me, as a keeper of secrets and stories, I'm hoping that curating. I'll say the stories that surround those things.
Because one of the things which we've had on this on the podcast the number of people who have a musical artistic background.
I know.
So the most recent one, Leroy, with his being in the Boys Brigade, and he could play, was it the trumpet or the trombone?
Yeah, one of those.
One of those there. So there is that lineage we've got there.
Yeah.
And we had Errol there, Kaleli with his background. Franz Von there,
Franz
Steve
Vaughan,
Edwards,
Steve
we had Jonathan
Edwards.
Williams from the Hoods from Underground?
Yeah, Who's Underground,
Hoods
and
Underground.
then we had Kent Roach.
Kent Roach as well.
Montuno, yeah.
So, and we invited these people these guys onto the podcast there, not because of their music, but just because
Yeah.
we know them.
We know them, yeah.
Yes.
But they are prolific artists in their own right. And I think Sheffield needs something. I think somehow as much as investment is in different art forms and, children's music and stuff, they are seasoned artists in the city who are living off their art form. We have like Dominic Heslop's slum bars on site. We've got like tracks. We've got like a variety of things happening. But somehow these seasoned musicians somehow have been forgotten.
Yes.
Because some of them are still producing stuff. People like Henry Clark were still producing music and doing well in some cases. But my thing for 2026 really is to look at the curating the old stories of the music that made Sheffield. You know what I'm saying?
So that's one aspect of 2026 for you looking forward.
Yeah.
What about with family?
With family, this is the thing. My son is a I've got two boys here, both
And
musicians.
your wife's a musician,
Yes,
isn't
a
she?
musician. Yeah, they are all musicians, and we are working on a family. I'll say a couple of years back, we did the Firth Hall here at the University of Sheffield. It was like gospel meets classical music. So we had a 76-piece orchestra and a 28-piece choir, and then we had like a keyboard, a bass, and a drummer. It was amazing. And I would love to probably kind of us revisit that, but look at a bigger venue, probably like the Octagon or some other venue where we can, because we had to turn people back out. We had to turn.
So there's an audience for that.
There's an audience for something that is where people can come and sit and just be
And hear music.
and hear
And
musicians.
and hear musicians.
And hear musicians,
Yes.
bro. Yeah, and hear musicians. And I think there's room for that in Sheffield. Because there's a lot of artists. We had the Richard Hawleys, we had the, kind of Tim Smithies, what do you call it, the Dead Man's Uke. We have had a lot of
So
prolific
one of the things clearly,
artists
you want to
here.
do something with your family in
Yes,
music.
in music, yeah. I want to kind of do like, my son is still threatening us with going to London, because Sheffield doesn't really have anything for
Yes.
him. And that's
How would
one
you
of
feel about your son off to London?
I don't like it.
Only doing what you did, but only a small distance compared to what you did.
Dude, I don't like it a bit.
And yet you
Really?
left
I
one
know,
continent to another.
Yeah, I know, bro, I know. But it's like, let me tell you, we learn. Let me tell you somehow, we learn from our own experiences, the things we like or don't like.
But you only had, your response there is a response of a parent
Yes.
who is close to his child, who wants his child close to him.
Yeah.
And I mean, my two children live close.
Yes.
They live in Sheffield. They both have been away, but they live close. And, for me personally, it's beautiful to have them close by.
Yes.
And probably for me, 2026 is to continue to be able to do things with
Yeah,
them.
with them.
And I've got the grandchildren there with my daughter expecting a fourth. So doing things with your family.
That's it.
Is, for me, 2026, I think there's great comfort in that.
Yes. And also for me, I think I want to go back home more often to visit my eldest boy in South Africa and spend time with my grandson.
Do you think that would be 2026?
Yes, definitely.
Okay, so
yeah,
there.
relatively.
Because they do
actually,
say, you said it earlier, but you have to have an intentionality, otherwise
Yes.
it doesn't happen.
Yes, yes.
It's not going to happen by chance, is it?
No. It has to be. It's something that I think sometimes we we persuade ourselves from doing the thing we want to do.
Yeah.
We will find excuses for not doing the thing. And I think 2026 for me, like you rightly say, it is about connection. It's about looking at family with new eyes, in the sense that there are family members there are people who class us as family, but we don't behave as family.
No.
Because that's the thing. We may never physically sit down in the same room and share a meal.
Yeah. See, I find myself in the last couple of years, and I want to continue doing this, which is, and I think it's been prompted by the loss of my brother 2 years ago, 3 years in January, and a cousin, very close cousin, 5 years earlier, where spending time with my siblings,
Yes.
where I go to, to Nottingham, to London, and to Manchester, and I spend time with them, and I sit with them.
That's it, bro.
Yeah, and sit with them is just sit, and I'm with them for the day.
Yes.
Don't do anything. We just sit
Yeah.
and we talk and we reminisce and we just reconnect there. And
Yeah.
you reconnect and you remember this unconditional love which you have.
Yes.
And it's like it just gives you, I don't know,
It revitalizes
it revitalizes
you.
you.
It revitalizes
You feel like someone steadied you a bit.
That's it.
In that sort of like where you're swaying in the wind of life, etc.
Yeah.
But actually, you're steadied again by that unconditional love, and you're able to go back out there.
But that's it. And I think for fully knowing, you spoke about going to Jamaica at some point.
I was talking with Errol
Yeah.
today about 2027.
Yeah.
I'm going to go.
You're
I'm
gonna
going to
go to
go the
Jamaica.
winter of 2027.
That's the thing.
Well,
That's
it's winter meaning January, February.
January, February. Oh, okay. I think that's exactly what I'm also thinking of going to Jamaica. It's to, because my children's grandparents are from that part of the world, and I've never been. And I would love to go there just to fulfill a long dream about going there and tasting everything going in
And
Jamaica.
then you'll think, this is where they get it from.
Yeah, that's it. No, but that's it.
And that's
it.
why they stay so.
Yeah, no, it's true. It is true. But this is the thing. The weirdest thing for me is like my connection to Jamaica predates my coming to this part of the world, because it's like even my English teacher was Jamaican. And this is in Zimbabwe. My piano teacher was I met Joseph Munya Brown. Munya Brown used to play drums for Misting Roots. I met him in Zimbabwe, and we are friends up to now. He's in London. But it's like my introduction to the West Indian community wasn't here in Sheffield. It was in Zimbabwe way back when. So I grew up with that. And I knew more about Jamaica than I knew about my own historical, kind of leanings. You know what I'm saying? But that's the thing. I have always felt a kinship for the West Indian community, even before I was in the West
So
Indies.
you've got two big travels, haven't you?
Yes. Yes.
You've got Zimbabwe.
I've got
and-
Zimbabwe, I've got South Africa, and then I've got
Jamaica.
Jamaica, yeah.
So the next
And then
couple of
Jamaica.
years ahead of you.
Yeah, definitely.
It sounds exciting.
And then also my book.
Your book, oh yeah,
Yeah.
because that is something you always ask us all here.
Yes.
Which is, when's your book coming out?
I am hoping, that's what I'm saying, between Steve Edwards' documentary, because for his album launch and my book, I'm hoping at least if I have my book, I'll say by Easter of next year.
Easter 2026.
26, yeah, 2026. That would be a good
I
thing.
tell you what, you've got a lot of things coming out there.
Yeah,
haven't
that's
you?
the thing.
2026.
But that's the thing. It's like I think like we've been talking about, it's like intentional. It's about looking to the future with new eyes, with intentionality, with drive, with, because we are still overground, isn't it? We ain't dead yet. bro.
Absolutely.
And also I've got a podcast with Libby Bearden. I think I'm pronouncing, I think it's Bearden. Bearden? So Libby is my niece. Well, she's our collective niece at the gym. And we are thinking about, we are currently working on the mechanics of this new podcast, the old African with this young Canadian. Let me tell you.
Hey. So I get the feeling there that I'm being replaced.
No, you're not being replaced.
You always wanted the Lungani show.
No, this will never go. Even when we do, I think Trims and Talk is here to stay, simply because I think the conversations that we have are pertinent to these times. Mm-hmm. And I think for 2026, even when the money runs out, as it will, we have enough capital to actually say, to connect with the people that we have made connections with and try and figure out a way to have access to the resources that we have built.
So what we're saying then is Trims and Talks is coming back.
It's coming back.
It's coming back in 2026.
2026.
I'm going to end 2025. We have got one more next
yes,
week.
Next
we've
week,
got one more next week, but we've got a guest next week, so it's not the two of us doing our
thing.
Just to end our
the
rap,
rumblings of
last
two old
week
men.
It was very much, you were asking me about this, that, and the other, and I've been doing a bit today with you, I hope, which is the question you always ask people at the end, which is, what's your thing?
For me, the gym. The gym. There's nothing I love more than going to the gym. For me, is the gym hasn't just been about exercise. And I find, like, going towards Christmas, I haven't been doing much exercising as I usually do. I still go for a run in the morning. I'll go park at the gym, go for a run, and then go back and potter about and, do some exercise here. But I think more for me, the gym has been a place of connection. Mm-hmm. I mean, I don't smoke or drink. So for socially, my social activities are usually done in the morning. Outside the podcast and outside, working with you, I think my social battery doesn't have as much, kind of energy as it does. I get very... I think there are certain engagements that deplete my energy, but this gives me energy. You know what I'm saying? Because it feeds my soul. It doesn't just... I think what we do, our relationship on the podcast and outside the podcast, for me, is a lifeline. We don't talk about that, and I'm grateful for that. And I think for next year, more of this. More of not only feeding each other, but also feeding those that we interact with. And hopefully we will be able to grow a Trims and Talk movement that will outlive us.
Well, I'm going to let you have the last word on that. I'll just say a little bit and let you have the last word, which is Trims and Talk has been brilliant. I mean, I think you're right. I think it captures the conversations you and I have, conversations which are filled with laughter.
That's it.
That's the other thing. But laughter is something which, people... You have to connect with other people to be able to laugh with them.
That's it.
To laugh together.
That's it.
Because you're seeing things which are joyful. You're seeing things which are optimistic as well there. Even the irony of some things. And I enjoy that. And I think we've been able to do that. I think also the people we've had on the podcast, they've joined in with us.
That's it. No, they have.
And,
they really have been.
And I have to say thank you to all of those people there, because they've been this third party in our conversation.
No,
apologies if you felt as if it was that.
Well, apologies if you felt like we were interrogating you, but it wasn't our intention. I think we are. I think we are learning to be. It has been a beautiful lesson in connecting with people and also kind of doing things that we know will outlive us. Hopefully, you know what I'm saying.
I think that's a good place to stop.
Yes, sir.
All right.
Thanks a lot, bro.
Thank you a lot, bro. Let's do it.
In 2026. I mean, we have next week, and then we take it.
That was good.
Yeah, man.
That was very, very good. We're going to get quite good at this.
No,
Wayne, I saw Wayne last week.
Yeah.
So Wayne wanted me to meet him just to reassure him about
that we don't bite.
We don't bite. And he said, "Oh, I've listened to yours, and you're very good, the pair of you are."
Mm.
And I said, "I don't know where it's come from, but I think it is that we're able to convey the easy relationship we've got,
Yes.
which I think makes people feel relaxed."
No, but that's
Yes.
it. That's it, bro. That's it. And I'm hoping that maybe if we are like it 2026, BBC may even, you know, I mean, who knows? I mean, we'll send it out to the when you go see Paulette and
Yes.
and
It's nice
everybody.
meeting her on Sunday.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes,
'Cause
sir.
she's got that prime time show, hasn't she?
Yes,
on
she
BBC?
has. And also, I know we're supposed to go to see Les.
I can't do it on this.
Yeah,
so I won't
because
be here.
same
away.
here. I mean, Steve is performing at the what do you call it?
God, you're a bit of
October.
Steve man now, aren't you?
Well, I'm doing the behind the scenes.
So you're
thing.
doing the behind the scenes for
Yeah,
him?
yeah.
Oh, okay. So he's
Yeah.
actually commissioned you to do that?
Yeah, he asked me.
So
Actually,
what-
I asked him.
Yeah.
I asked him when we were on the podcast last time. When
Well,
we were
maybe that's
walking
the way
back.
to do things sometimes.
Yeah, but that's the thing, bro. Connection is about. It's the same thing, you know. Like, if you don't tell people about your availability
Yeah.
and your interest, people sometimes we get passed
Well,
on
yeah,
because of
absolutely.
that.
So what shows has he got then?
He's got the one at the Octagon.
On
Actually,
Friday, I'm not
what do you
here.
call it? What
Is that the university?
Yeah, the university.
Yes,
the,
Octagon.
with the what do you call it? The
Acoustic Angels.
Is it
I
acoustic
don't know
or is
what
it Everly pregnant?
Heavily pregnant women. Heavily
Oh,
pregnant something.
brothers.
They're quite funny.
Yes.
Yes.
It's them. He's supporting that.
Yeah.
And then I think he's got something at Butlins.
Butlins, I won't do that one.
Yeah, it's like a weekend thing.
Yeah,
It's-
they're
it's
the
got
weekend
like,
soul thing about.
yeah, it's got the brand new heavies and all. Because
Oh,
I
wow.
know it's got like everybody, Omar and all those guys.
Wow.
And what's her name? At our office. She's going.
Tracy.
Yeah, Tracy.
Tracy and Chris.
Tracy, they go.
They go
yeah.
to everywhere, don't
Oh,
they? Yes.
She-
You know, he's in, where's he now? He's just come back from Morocco.
Yeah, Morocco. Yeah,
Yeah.
those guys they are living the life I want to live.
Well, he's living the life, isn't he?
But that's what happens, you
Yes.
know. If I think it's about again, it's like if you put yourself, put yourself out there, and tell people exactly what it is that you want to do, and people sometimes they will receive your energy and give you the opportunities that are available. Because I think many of us, we are afraid to tell people this is what we do and we are available. And I think, I think I'm going to do more of that.
Yes,
'cause
yeah.
this
Well, he
year,
got you something.
yeah, because I think when you asked me about why I didn't go to New York, I was young and also I was fearful.
I was fearful. I had
Yes.
friends who went out, so I can't go.
That would have been unfamiliar space. But to be honest, I think I think the greatest disservice that we do to ourselves is not trying.
Yeah.
Or not even dipping our toe in that thing to say, you know what if I had? Because living with the what ifs is like a
It's
weird
terrible,
place.
isn't
Yeah,
it?
'cause,
It can
you
wear
know,
you.
Yeah,
It can sort of like paralyze you into not doing anything.